Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on the video. If you're not new, then thank you so much too for clicking and staying with me and doing this whole journey with me. I appreciate all of y'all. I hate when I be talking all low. Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about, babe? Yeah. Now it's time for me.
If you clicked on the video, then you want to see or hear part 2 of, what did I title it? I didn't forget what I titled it. How I had 2 boyfriends. I don't know. I can't remember what I titled it. But anyway, I'm gonna link the other video, part 1. I'm gonna link it down. So this is part 2. If you haven't already, and you don't know already, because you knew, get your snack, get your drink, get your herbal essence. You know that other stuff. I'm drinking red wine, and I got a straw. It's a metal straw, because I got lipstick on and gloss on my lips, so I don't want to put on I don't want to stain the thing or whatever. So anyway, yeah, get your drink, get your snack, get your everything, and let's get ready for the video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Period.
I gotta do a couple videos today. It's recording day, y'all. I talk with my hands. She does cuss. I mess with my hair. I look off to the side. I do all kind of stuff. My eyes be moving all over the place. I do all of that. And if you don't like that type of stuff, you don't like somebody moving in a video, then click off the video. But if you do like all this stuff, you like me, you like my vibe, you like my videos, you supporting the girl, you supporting, the channel, the growth. I'm trying to get to 2K. Help me out. It don't take nothing to tell somebody. Just let somebody else know. Watch my videos. I appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, if you don't like all of that, then you know what to do. But if you do like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or let somebody else know. Help me out. We're trying to we're on the road to 2K. We're on the road to 2K. We're on the road to 2K. Anyway, let me get started with the video, because we 3 minutes in and I still ain't said nothing. Okay, so now we on the journey of Liam. So Liam was my boyfriend after Ray. So I met Liam at the same place. I met Liam at work, and once Ray had got fired, I wasn't really like, I tell y'all, like, I don't never go looking for anybody, a relationship, a boyfriend, whatever, same thing. I don't look for it. I don't never look like, oh my God, I need a boyfriend. Oh, this, that, and the third. No, I don't never do that. I just continue to go on about my business, my life. So of course, when Ray, I didn't hear from Ray no more, and it was like months, I was like, okay, already like off the rip, when I ain't hear from him like a couple weeks, I was like, okay, yeah, he know where I live at. He ain't calling me back. It must be he either don't want to deal with me no more, or he really going through something. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on with him. And plus, I'm like, at this point, I was probably about to be 17 or 17 now. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. So slowly but surely, I started like being around Liam a lot more. So at work, like, he would ask to help me. He would ask to like if I needed something, like, he would do it. He would come to my section, because he didn't work in my area. So he would come over there and he would like talk to me. It was on some like just friend stuff. But as we started like getting to know each other, started talking more stuff, like our personal stuff, school stuff, because everybody there was in high school. So, but we didn't go to the same high school. So eventually, like, we started talking, and then like we started liking each other, whatever. And then we started to like talk more and be around each other more. And then I started like seeing him more, and we got like super close. And Liam he was like, I don't know, Liam was like, he had a lot of girls. Like, it was a lot of, I seem to attract them type of guys too. Like, a lot of different girls, like whoever I was with, it was like girl magnets. I don't know, like a lot of guys, a lot of girls would like whoever I was with. So let me take y'all through. So me and Liam was together for 6 years. 6 years. So when me and Ray stopped what we was doing, Liam came in, and Liam was like my boyfriend on and off for 6 years, on and off. We would be together, break up, be together, break up, be together, break up. In between time, every time we would break up, it was because it was another girl. It was another girl. The other girl was either he was trying to talk to her, or he was trying to be with her, or he was with her. And I find out, because I'm a detective. We introducing Detective Joe. She was a detective. I used to have people call me on my phone and tell me like he and a girl face up here, or he coming in here, and I remember one time he came up there, and we still work together. We worked together for 2 years. We worked together. And then if you haven't watched this video, I'm gonna link it down below. When I had a fight at work, when I fought the other woman at the job, this is Liam. Liam is the person. So that was that girl, and it was an older woman. So he was like 19, and he was talking to like a 25-year-old. She had kids, this and that. He broke up with me, talked to her, and then he got back with me, and then he still was talking to her, and he came to work. He had hickeys all on his neck, and then by the time I got there, he was taking them off, so like that you could barely see him. This guy told me it was a whole lot going on with Liam. Like I went through a lot. I had went through a lot with Liam. I think I had some on my teeth, but I took it off. But anyway, I went through a lot with Liam. So Liam was like my first love. I was, when you like really, really be like, your heart break. Let's talk about that. When you can't eat, can't think, can't function, your heart just be broken. That was my first love and my first heartbreak. My first, I was obsessed. I was fighting people. I was confronting women. We was kids, so I won't say women. We was young teenagers. I was confronting teenagers. I was doing a lot. Like it was a lot. So eventually Liam had ended up, so the first 3 years of us, he was here, and then he ended up moving, and he moved away because I'm gonna tell y'all that other stuff too, but I don't want to get into all them details. But just know that Liam was way different from Ray. Liam was not like Ray. Ray was more, Liam, I was with him every day too. I was with him every day. I used to go to his house every day. The only difference between like Liam and Ray is that like Ray was more like, he didn't mind being around. Like he met my dad. He was cool with like being around, like picking me up, coming to my house, leaving or whatever. He didn't have no issue with that. But like Liam, he was like, he met my dad, but like he wouldn't, like, I don't know. They're like completely different types. Liam wanted to like, I feel like Liam, like, I wasn't with Ray long enough to even like know who I was. I'm trying to make it make sense. I wasn't with Ray long enough to know who I was. I was still learning myself. When I was with Liam, I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about who I am. I learned a lot about like the person that I am today. Like I grew into, like I was growing into something because I got put through so many different situations. It was a lot. It was a lot of cheating. It was a lot of lying. It was a lot of manipulating. It was a lot of playing with your head. He even told me before, like, he enjoyed playing with women's head, messing with their mind and stuff. But we was kids, like I said. As time went on, like I said, he ended up leaving, and he ended up moving to California for a little bit. And then from California, he ended up moving to North Carolina for a little bit. And then eventually he came back to Texas, but he was over there for a little bit, and I'm gonna get into all of that later. Just right now, we're gonna talk about the two. So before he left, right? And when he left and he went, he would tell me, like, I was kind of like in limbo. I didn't know we was together. I didn't know what was going on, because like when he left, we was together, but then when he was over there, he was acting like we wasn't. So it was kind of weird. But now that I'm older, I know why he was doing that, because he was messing with other people. And I'll get into story times about. I might do a story time on right after this one to tell you a story time on how I found out that he cheated on me in North Carolina and I'm all the way in Texas. Excuse me if I get lipstick on my teeth. I keep trying to take it off. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's the lip gloss. That's why I don't wear lip gloss. But so, okay. I feel like I'm just rambling for like 10 minutes. I was just rambling because I don't really want to tell too much, because I feel like I'm gonna be giving a lot away. I don't want to tell. I'm trying to tell less. Anyway, okay, so I was with Liam, like I said, for on and off. He ended up leaving. We were still in contact. He ended up coming back to Texas. When he came back to Texas, we was together for, we was together for like 5.5 years when he came back, because we was together for, like 5.5 years, 5.5. We was together on and off. It was on and off. We was together, we wasn't together. We was together, we wasn't together. Because in between that time, when we wasn't together, I was dealing with other people. And I'm going to tell y'all about the story. Like Adam was one of them. And I'm going to tell y'all a story time about Adam. It was a few other people when I got trapped in the closet with the boy. That was in between that time. He was one of them. But anyway, so like we was on and off for 5 years. Okay, so he comes back. And in between the time when he come back, I'll say that first year that he came back, because it was before the 5.5 years. He came back and I had my own place. I had a townhouse. I had my own spot. He came and I gave him a key. He could come in and out of my house. He could stay if he want. I ain't had nothing going on. I wasn't with nobody. I was just with him. I would go see him when he was in North Carolina. I would go see him. I would go visit him all the time. So it was cool. He come down here, and then something happened in his life. And what happened in his life, it was a lot. Like he was overwhelmed with a lot of emotions, a lot of things. Something happened to him. So he just was like dealing with a lot. So I was just trying to be there for him, but really he wasn't trying to like hear he wasn't trying to hear that. I guess it was nothing I could do what he was going through. So he ended up breaking up with me. So he broke up with me 2 days before Valentine's Day. Coincidentally, that's my daughter's birthday. Now that I have a daughter. So that's my daughter's birthday. He broke up with me 2 days before Valentine's Day. He broke up with me or whatever. So he broke up with me, and I took it really bad. I was devastated. I was sick. I was just, like I told y'all, like love. I was head over heels. Like I'll do anything for this man. Anything, everything. Even though he was doing all this stuff to me, cheating on me, seeing other people, I would catch him. He would beg me to just, no, please just be with me. It was a mistake. They don't mean nothing. You know, all the stuff the guys tell you. You don't mean that girl don't mean nothing. It ain't nothing like that. We was just talking. It wasn't that. We ain't do nothing. Da 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 da. I'm gonna tell y'all a story time about how I found out he was cheating on me over there, and how I called the girl, and I got the whole story from the girl. I'm gonna make that story time right after this, so y'all can get that, and then I got y'all. Okay, so he broke up with me. And then we ain't talk. I mean, I was doing anything I could to like get him back. Anything. Like I was like, let's talk about it. And I'm like 20. So like, I'm gonna tell y'all this, because I feel like I'm gonna just add this little piece in. I remember I was telling y'all I went through that little depression, right? Okay, there's a lot of little stuff that happened. One of the things that happened to me that triggered it, I lost the job. So I told you I had my apartment, right? I had got the job. I was working for Metro. I ended up getting fired from Metro because I had them accidents, right? In the mix of all of that, I was going through all of that stuff. I had some other stuff happen, which I said I'm gonna make a story time on y'all. A story time about it. I'm gonna do a story time about it. I ain't gonna forget that. I do want to make a story time about that. But anyway, I had the job. I lost the job. I also he broke up with me. some other things had happened too, but I don't want to give it all because then it ain't gonna be no point in making a story time. But just know that was a piece of of what triggered me to go through what I went through for them 6 months or whatever. Okay, so I lost that. He broke up with me or whatever. So you know what? I'm like, should I just do that? Do a story time on that so y'all can kind of understand. I don't know. I'm gonna still make a story time about what happened. But anyway, he broke up with me. I keep saying it over and over, but I did everything. Like I needed him to help me get to work because I had got a job. I needed him to help me get to work because I had my family, but they worked. So like, I didn't really have nobody. And I knew he was available to do stuff for me because, I mean, we was together. So I'm like, can you just take me to work? Can you pick me up? Can you take me to cash my check? Can you do all of this? Because the job I had, they didn't do direct deposit. They did only, you had to go to the bank and cash the check. So I would be like, can you take me to go cash my check? So then after like, he had like this, like, if you want to call it like a sit down with me, like it was really like mean. It wasn't nice. It was really like a growing moment because like he told me, he's like, Jolanda, like, I ain't trying to do this. And when he called me by my name, I already knew because he would call me like JoJo or other little names. He would call me, but when he said my name, I was like, okay, yeah, he's serious. He's like, no, I ain't trying to do this. Like we don't need to do this no more. Like we don't need to be together. Like da da da. He like went through the whole little thing, and I was like I was broke, devastated, sick. Like I couldn't eat. I lost weight. I lost 20 pounds. I took it really bad. Like it was really bad. Like I would seclude myself in my room in the dark. Like it was really bad. Like I went through, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't function. My focus, I was really messed up. That breakup messed me up. Like I was real messed up. So in the mix of that, I was telling y'all in the other story time that I had ended up seeing Ray. Okay, we broke up, right? Me and Liam is over. Like he was like, I don't want to do it. I'm done. I'm not helping you with nothing. I'm not doing nothing. Like it's done. Like I'm done. I don't want no ties. Like we don't have nothing tying us together. So like the only thing that we did have connecting us together is our cell phones, because our phones was on the same plan. I could have easily took my phone off, but I was trying to do anything to stay linked to this man. But our phones was together. Remember that. And he helped me get a car. I had a Mitsubishi Eclipse. He helped me get that car a year or so, year and a half before we broke up. He helped me get that car. So the car, he helped me get it. So his name was on the car too. So as long as I was paying the car, like we ain't had no problems, which we didn't have no issues because I was paying the car. Okay, so remember that. So that's the only thing that linked us together, which if you think about it, those are kind of like major things because it's a car. It's a car, and the phone, you could just easily like take the phone off or whatever. So, okay, we ain't talk for, so February, March, April, May, June. I want to say like June or July. We'll say 6 months later. Okay, we not talking at all, right? At all. Like, he don't talk to me unless it's about the car. He'll hit me up and be like, did you pay the car? And it be like random. It don't be like every month. He just be like, hey, did you pay the car? I'll be like, yeah, I paid the car. Okay, that's it. He'll text it. He don't call. Okay. We're gonna go into Ray coming back into the picture. So one day I'm at work and I worked at this daycare, and his daughter went to the daycare, but I didn't even know he had a kid because last time I seen Ray, we was kids. He 19, I'm 16. He ain't had no kids, no children. So why would I know that that's his kid? I had no clue that was his kid. I didn't even know the kid. So I see him. I came off my lunch break and I'm walking across the parking lot, and I see him walking in the opposite direction to come in the building. And I see him and I say his name. And then he see me and he says he has a name for me, this little pet name he called me. So he said my name, and then we walk up to each other and like, we just talking. And I was asking him like, what you doing here? And he's like, oh, my daughter go here. I'm like, you got a kid? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So we just started talking. Then he was just like, maybe you should call me or whatever. Call me and like, let's catch up, let's link or whatever. Like, back then we ain't say link. We just like, let's catch up, let's get together or whatever. Like, let's go have a drink or go eat somewhere, go do something together. Like, just catch up. I was like, okay, cool. I don't have nobody. And he ain't had nobody. I didn't even ask him. He just told me like, let's get whatever. Okay, so at the time that I met him, I started to like kind of come out of the like depression. It was still lingering, but it wasn't, I was slowly coming out of it, but it was still hard. Like I still was thinking about Liam and thinking about, maybe I'll get back with him or not. I still had it in the back of my mind, but it wasn't like, it was slowly going away, if that makes sense. I'm slowly getting over it because he's not calling me, not talking to me or nothing. Okay, so I started talking to Ray, and I told you on the last video, it's like it never stopped. Like we started talking and it was like we didn't miss a beat. Like we started going out a lot. We started hanging together a lot. He started helping me through the depression stuff. Like he was talking to me about all kind of stuff. He was like, you a go-getter, you always get out here and you always do, like he was saying all the stuff that I already know in my mind. But when you be like in that space, it's like nobody can tell you nothing until you accept the fact that, okay, it's time for me to get up and do something. So in the mix of me dealing with him, like I ended up getting my car together, because that's another thing, my car wasn't working right. I had, like I told you, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about all that. But I ended up getting another job. I got a second job. So I had two jobs. I was working at the daycare, and I was a security guard for like this little company that build like properties and stuff. And you just make sure nobody don't steal like AC units and stuff like that. I was doing that overnight. So I had two jobs, and I was seeing Ray. So when I was seeing Ray, he was like, we would be together all the time. I would go to his job. I would eat lunch with him. Like he would work overnight. So when I was off, I would just drive to his job on his lunch breaks. Like he might take his lunch break at like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. I would drive to his job, and he had an hour break. So we were sitting in his car, my car, and I bring him food, and we sit there and we talk the whole time on his lunch break until he go back. And sometimes I'll be on the phone with him the whole like time he was doing his shift. He have his phone, like his little earpiece in his ear, and we talking the whole time. Sometimes not the whole time. Sometimes I talk to him till I get sleepy, and then we hang up and I talk to him the next day when he wake up or whatever. But like we talked the whole time. So we talked so much that I was not giving the energy to Liam. Like I wasn't hitting him up, because sometimes I would hit him up and be like, how you doing? You okay? What's going on? You all right? I wasn't doing it no more. I wasn't hitting him up about the car. Like sometimes I would make up excuses just to talk to him, just because I just wanted his energy. I wasn't doing that anymore. So I wasn't giving the energy that I was giving before. So I guess Liam in his mind was like, what she got going on? So I told y'all our phones was connected to each other. So he went through the phone records. I guess he looked up, I know what he did. He looked up the phone records, and he called me on the phone one day. And I was already surprised that he was calling, because he don't ever call me. He'll text me. So he called and he's like, hey, what's been going on with you? And I'm like, nothing, telling him like, oh, I've been working. Nothing really. Like, I ain't telling you what I'm doing. Like, they ain't none of your business. Like, we ain't together. So you don't need to know what I got going on. So I ain't telling him nothing. So he's like, who have you been talking to at night? And I'm like, what do you mean who I've been talking to? Now, not thinking in my mind, like, oh, we got the same phone, he could see who I'm talking to. I wasn't thinking about this. So I was just like, what are you talking about, who I'm talking to? And then he was like, whose number is, he says his number. And I'm like, oh, that's my friend. And he's like, your friend? Who is your friend? And I was like, I told him his name or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I said, that's my friend, I'm talking to him or whatever. And he's like, oh, so you got a boyfriend now? And I'm like, no, I don't got a boyfriend. We talk. And then he was just like asking me all these questions. And I'm like, why you asking me questions? We not together. Ain't nothing. Like, I don't need to answer you don't need to be asking me nothing. So he just was like, well, he was like, you've been talking to him for like 5 hours, 4 hours on the phone, like going through the whole rundown. Like, you talk to him all the time and whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I paid a phone bill. So the phone bill gets paid, I send you the money, or I pay the bill. Because I ain't even had to send him the money. I could just pay the bill myself. So I'm like, I pay the bill, so what's the problem? So he just was like, you know, like he's just questioning it. And I'm like, I don't know what, I was confused. So we had a little conversation or whatever. I ended up telling Ray. And then Ray was like, you know, like, why he asking you all this stuff? Y'all not together no more or whatever. He's like, he kind of probably still want to be with you or whatever. And I was like, I don't know how you want to be with me. He don't talk to me. And that's the relationship that I had with Ray. Like, I could talk to Ray about whatever. And it was no judgment or nothing like that. Like, he was easy to talk to. Like, I used to talk about all the stuff. Like, I was going through, you know, dealing with him and what happened before and everything. Like, I was telling him everything. And he was like giving me advice and stuff. And he was like, no, it sounds like he still wants you. So I don't know how this conversation had happened, but me and Ray was like heavy. Like, we was talking a lot. And I ended up talking to Liam a little bit more, because he started coming in. He started asking me, can you take me out? I would tell him, yeah. Because I didn't have a boyfriend. Neither one of them was my boyfriend at this time. So I was open. I would see, oh, I forgot to tell y'all too. When I worked at that little job where the security thing, where I had to be like, make sure nobody don't steal ACs and stuff, Ray would come to my job. Ray would come to my job and he would sit with me like for hours, because I had to be in my car. He would sit with me for hours and we'd be talking for hours in the car. Like, he would just, like, he was with me all the time. Just like I told y'all before, like, we was together, stuck like glue. It's the same thing. I used to go to his house. He used to go to my house. Well, not so much my house, like hanging out. Like, I think he only came to my house a few times, but I'll be at his house the majority of the time. We used to be together a whole lot, a lot. He had asked me, like, what we finna do with this? Like, what do you want to do? And then I was telling him, you know, because I was open with him, because I was still talking to Liam. And I'm like, I still be seeing Liam sometimes, but I'm like, no, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want a boyfriend. I was telling him, I'm like, I don't think I want a boyfriend, because I don't want to be tied to just one person. And he was like, okay, that's fine. Like, we could just continue to do what we doing, date or whatever. So then Liam hit me with the conversation. He was just like, you know, I want to see you. I want to see what we could do with this. Maybe we could work it out. You know, what I've been trying to tell him this whole time before I had seen Ray again. He was just like, you know, I want to see where this can go. Da-da-da-da. And I'm heavy with Ray. I'm like heavy with him. Like, I see him all the time. Like, I need his energy too. So I told him, I said, well, I'm like, this is what I would do. I said, I'll see you, but I'm not going to stop seeing Ray, because I like him too. I said, I could have you and I can have him if you okay with that. I want both of y'all. I don't want to pick. I want both of y'all. And he told me, that's fine. Liam said, that's fine. I had a conversation with Ray. I was telling him, I'm like, you know, I want both of y'all. I like y'all both. I don't want to pick. I don't want to be like, okay, I want you. And I want both of y'all. So I still want to see both of y'all. I still want to hang out with both of y'all. I still want to be in both of y'all energy, presence, whatever. I want y'all both. I'm like, are you okay with that? And he said, yes. So I had both of them say yes. So I'm like, I'm your girlfriend and I'm his girlfriend. But I said, and I'm gonna figure out a way to where I can have you both and it don't be no conflict. Both of them said okay. So what I would do was I would like some parts of the week I would go hang out with I would be with Liam, and then I knew Ray. I mean, I knew both of their schedule, but I knew the times that I could be with Ray. So I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go be with Ray. And then, like I told y'all, I would go to Ray's job. I would go eat with him. I would sit with him on his lunch break. He would come to my job and he would be with me. So like I was seeing Ray a whole lot more than I was seeing Liam. But Liam had access to my bill, so he could see how often I was talking to Ray. So he'd be like calling me on the phone, like, okay, say like today, you know how like the bill would like update itself like every few minutes, maybe every 5 minutes or whatever. I don't remember how often it was. Maybe it was like every 5 minutes. He would go looking through the bill or whatever. He would see I talked to Ray, and then I would be headed to Ray's job. So just say like I'm with Ray, and he eating his lunch or whatever, and we sitting there, we talking, and we in the car or whatever, and I'm because Ray is real affectionate. Like, I mean, like, he was real affectionate with me. Like, he held my hand, he kissed on me, you know, like he was affectionate, more affectionate than Liam was. So he didn't care about like who seen me, whatever. Like, it wasn't none of that. Like, he owned me. So Liam would be caught blowing my phone up, like calling me like 15 times, like. And this was before you could put your phone, I think you had to like turn your phone off, because I don't remember, or turn your volume down and put on vibrate, because I had like the little flip Verizon phone. I had a little flip phone. And he'd be like, dang, he blowing you up. Like, he would say like stuff like that, like, he blowing you up. Like what's wrong with him? Like, he crazy or something? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it was weird. So I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, I don't know why he doing all this. He already know, like, he knew like I would be, because I would tell him like, I'm gonna be with Ray today, and I'm gonna hit you later. I guess that wasn't sitting right with him. So he just, at first he was cool with it. But then I guess as time went on, and he was like seeing like she ain't letting up. She not finna pick nobody. So I'm finna apply this pressure. But if I would have been somewhat a little smarter, I would have been like, you know what, you tripping. I'm gonna just chill off on you. But I didn't do it. I just like, oh, he'll be all right. I'll talk to him later. So Ray kept telling me over and over, because it would happen a lot. Like, it wasn't just no one time. This was like often. Like, I'll be with Ray. Like, say like we go on a date. We on a date and we out. And he used to like, sometimes he'll take my car, and then sometimes we'll take his car. But this one time I remember we was in my car, and we riding around. And he the one driving. He driving my car. He driving or whatever, and we riding and we laughing, we talking. He used to smoke. Like I told you, he used to smoke. And Liam don't smoke. He ain't smoke or drink. He didn't do nothing. So Ray would smoke or whatever. He smoke. We go somewhere and we go eat or whatever. And then he ride, he vibing, he good. He didn't really drink that much. He was really a smoker. He didn't drink like that. So we talking, vibing, like it's good. And then all of a sudden my phone started going crazy. Phone started going crazy. I get the text, call me, you need to call me, da da da. So then I answer him, and I'd be like, what, yeah, hello, what's going on? What's up? Like, you okay? You good? And he was like, where you at? And I'm like, with Ray. And he's like, you still with him? You been with him? Like, he be getting on me. But the thing is, like, when I'm with Liam, Ray don't blow up my phone. He be cool. And it could be this. It could be that Ray probably had somebody else too. I don't know. I didn't care. As long as I had him when I had him. I didn't care about who, what, where, and why. As long as I had Ray when I had him, I was cool with it. And he was cool with it. And then, but that wasn't, Liam wasn't on that type of time. So anyway, so this is how it all ended. It was probably like around my birthday time. Yeah, it's probably like November-ish. And he had told me, he was like, listen, this Liam, because Ray didn't do this. This is Liam. He was like, I don't know how much of this I could take. I don't think I could take doing this too much. Like, you gonna have to pick between us two. You either gonna have to pick him or me. He's like, I got history with you. I've been with you a long time. He's like, and I want to do this with you, but I want to know that you're serious and that you want to be only with me and committed to just me. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I don't want you dating nobody else. I ain't trying to do that no more. It's like, so you got till the first of the year to decide who you want. Now, I brought it to Ray, and I was telling Ray what he told me. And Ray was like, what you finna do? You gonna pick, or you gonna just keep it like it is? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Cause I'm like, I don't really want to be with nobody. I'm like, I like being around you. I like your vibe. I like how you are. I like you, but I also like him too. So like, it's a hard choice. I don't want to pick. I didn't want to pick. And I was like, but see, let me tell y'all something. I don't be regretting nothing in my life. I don't even regret this moment, but I do regret that I wasn't strong enough to just stand up and be like, you know what? You're not going to give me no ultimatum and tell me I got to pick. I'm going to decide when I'm ready if I want to stop And if you don't want to do this no more, then you could just stop seeing me. And then if it happened, it happened. That's the only thing that I was like, I should have stood up and said that. Even though, yes, people might say, oh, you shouldn't have 2 boyfriends. Guys do it all the time. But the difference between a guy and my situation is that some guys ain't honest. Guys be sneaking around having 2 women, 3 women, 4 women, 5, whatever. I was super straight up with it. Like, I want you and I want you. Y'all down for it or not? You ain't got to even talk. Y'all ain't gonna. They never saw each other. They never talked to each other. They just knew about each other, but they never was in each other's presence. I never brought him to him and none of that. None of that. It was all separate, but they knew about each other. I said I should have just not took the ultimatum, but my dumb self, I still had love for Liam. You know, that was my first love. Like I'm telling you, like I was smitten. Love. I loved him a whole lot. I think it's because of the bond that I grew over the time. Even though like he drugged me through the mud, I was like, this is where I'm trying to be. So when the time was coming closer and closer, I was just like, yeah, I think because Ray was like, you need to weigh out the pros and cons. What do you want to do? Like, let me know what you want to do. And then he's like, whatever you decide to do, I'm okay with. I was like, dang, so as I got older, I was like, this boy probably had a whole nother situation going on. He wasn't even tripping off of what I do. He probably was like, hey, I see it when I see whoever I see, and it is what it is. So I ended up, if y'all don't know, which y'all don't know, I ended up deciding to go ahead and make it work with Liam. That's who I decided to work it out with. And when we decided to work that all out, everything was cool and smooth until, I don't even want to say, because I want to leave it for another story time. Everything was good, smooth. It was cool. It was good. I ended up breaking it off with Ray, and he understood everything. He was cool. He was just like, I already knew that you was gonna pick him. You've been with him a long time, and I know you still love him, because if you didn't have anything for him, you wouldn't be trying to be with him and me. So he was like, I already knew. I wasn't tripping, but he was like, you know, I'm here for you, and I'll be there for you or whatever. And if you need me for anything, he's like, just let me know, call me, whatever. He's like, you know, I ain't gonna mess up what you got going on. And I say everything was cool and smooth until things started like, you know, things started like going wrong in our relationship, and I would reach out to Ray, and that caused conflict in my relationship with Liam. And I'll leave that for another story time. I'm gonna just stop it right here. But ultimately, I ended up being with Liam, but I still was dealing with Ray, but not seeing him. I would just talk to him, but I might tell y'all the story about that at another time. But right now, we're gonna just leave it at, you know, this part right here, because this story time is already long enough. But yeah, so I had 2 boyfriends. They both knew about each other. They ain't had no issues with each other. I think Liam had the issue with Ray. Ray didn't really have a problem with Liam. He was cool about whatever, but he didn't want to share, which I understand, because I ain't sharing nobody, baby. Ain't you come to me and talk about you want her and her, I'm out, I'm dipping. So I'm not gonna do that. So I'm too jealous. I'm too possessive. I'm too motherfucking obsessive. I'm all of that stuff. I am jealous. Like, I don't even want you looking at mine. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Look down. Don't look at him. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But yeah, if y'all like the story time, and if it's something that I missed or some part that you were like, okay, we need more detail, leave it in the comment down below and I'll let y'all know. And yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all next story is about the time I caught him cheating in North Carolina. I'm gonna let y'all know. And and yeah, we'll get into that story time. Until then, I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm jumping all ahead. Bye, y'all.